Hello, and welcome to Lost Love Chronicles. This is a platform where we share stories of love, loss, and the twists and turns that life can bring. Please subscribe to support us and stay tuned for more captivating chronicles. I'm a 39-year-old male, and I never saw it coming. I truly believe that we would be that odd couple that defied the odds and made it work. We've been married for almost 12 years and together for 14. A couple noted for lasting 20-plus years. But everything came crashing down on D-Day, which was October 30th. There wasn't a smoking gun. Just a gut feeling that made me look at her phone one night. I'd never done that before. Trust had always been a cornerstone of our relationship. But that good feeling, as they say, rarely leads you astray. The tipping point for me was when she attended her high school reunion in August. I didn't join her because it involved flights. And with our 2 kids and no local family to help out, it just seemed like too much hassle and expense to see people I barely knew and didn't care about. I've always been the breadwinner, and she's been a stay-at-home mom for the last 10.5 years since our daughter was born. Looking back, there were plenty of red flags, signs of terrible, and even abusive behavior. Maybe not as bad as some stories I've read, but enough that I should have set hard boundaries and walked away years ago. It seems that the beginning of the end of our relationship started at that reunion. She swears that nothing happened there and that he's not a boyfriend from her past, but I can't believe a word she says anymore. In September, a family member went into hospice, and I rearranged my work schedule to take care of the kids so she could spend time with them one last time. Sadly, the family member passed away, and she extended her stay for a week to attend the funeral. However, it became apparent that she was also spending time with her new boyfriend during this period. There were lots of texts via Facebook Messenger, talking about how they were meant to be together and how in love they were. It's honestly hard to stomach. What made it even more surreal was that she even attempted to meet up with him in Nashville to attend a game, and she had the audacity to ask me to come along. To which I reluctantly agreed. It was a high school friend, someone I initially trusted, and I didn't think anything of it. At the time, I was traveling every other week for work, and there were attempts to have him come visit. We live on the East Coast, and he's in North Dakota. She even invited him to stay at our house with our kids, though he didn't seem comfortable with that arrangement, and they had a falling out shortly before D-Day. Despite that falling out, she continued to pursue him with a sort of desperation that made it clear she was still strongly infatuated with him. My world was devastated. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, and couldn't focus at work. I desperately did the pick-me dance for a week, maybe 2, seeking support from family, friends, and a coworker who had been through a similar ordeal and was 2 years into the healing process. They helped me learn to focus on myself, something I had neglected throughout our relationship. I started exercising and leading, trying to regain a sense of self-worth, but she seemed lost, unsure of what she wanted. She claimed it wasn't about him, that she loved me, but wasn't in love with me. And she recited all those cliched lines we've all heard about. Somewhere around the beginning of December, I was reading No More Mr. Nice Guy and decided to set a firm boundary. The affair partner had to be out of our lives. No contact, or I would end our marriage. I told her during the picnic dance that I was terrified of losing her, but that day, I clarified that I wasn't scared to lose her. I just didn't want to, and that I wouldn't hesitate to end things if she didn't respect me. Follows her, or if she truly wants to separate, but is too weak to initiate it herself. Ultimately, it seems like she wants to have her cake and eat it too. The comfortable lifestyle I provide, along with the freedom to do whatever she wants. Like many others I've read about in similar situations, she appears to be acting selfishly and entitled. Following the advice of my attorney, your state laws may vary. I informed her that they would contact her to arrange to have her served with legal documents. However, she's been avoiding their attempts to contact her, continuing her pattern of running from problems and hoping they would just go away. To be fair, I've always accommodated that behavior. I've allowed her to run from problems in the past, but this time, she can't escape it. I'll take a financial hit. And that part really sucks. I've always viewed what I make as hours of my life, and it was never supposed to come to this. It's frustrating that she chose this path and still somehow feels entitled to my retirement and home equity, but it is what it is. I try not to dwell on the bitterness. I've been focusing on spending quality time with my kids, skiing with my 10-year-old daughter and engaging in Nerf gun battles, and playing with plastic army men with my 5-year-old son have become my priority. I continue to exercise to keep myself mentally and physically healthy. I know there will be a battle ahead because I don't think she's fully accepted the reality of the situation. She can't fight me for the house, and I can buy her out. We're still cohabitating, but that's temporary. The day will come when she'll have to find full-time employment. She has a 4-year degree, teaching certificates in 3 states, and had a few years of teaching experience before she got pregnant with our daughter. However, she doesn't want to teach anymore, and she once told me not too long before D-Day that she couldn't imagine having to work at a regular job. I can't help but think, sorry, sweetheart, you made the wrong choices. I've been handling almost everything that you would consider adult real life. For us, she's effectively a 12-year-old trapped in a 39-year-old body. Real life is coming at her like freight train. And when it hits, it won't be pretty. It saddens me because I still love her. You can't just flip a switch and shut off those feelings. Though they are slowly starting to fade. My goal is indifference, and I can almost see it way out there in the future. I just have to continue doing the work to get there. I know this has gotten wrong, but I felt it was time to tell my story. It always helps to get it out. And each time I do, a small piece of the weight lifts. I'm fortunate to have a strong support structure of family, friends, and coworkers. Even though much of it is via phone and spread around the country. In addition to sharing this for myself, I hope it can inspire someone whose D-Day was yesterday, or maybe the same as mine, but struggling, or perhaps someone who tried to reconcile and is now having doubts. There's strength in sharing our stories and knowing that we're not alone in this journey. I want to emphasize that reconciliation isn't impossible, but it does require both partners to be fully committed to the process, with a focus on the betrayed spouse's needs rather than her own. Unfortunately, in my situation, my soon-to-be ex-wife has been primarily focused on herself, and that has made it extremely challenging to move forward together. Here's what worked for me, and I hope it might help someone else who's going through a similar situation. Supportive online communities. I can't overstate how helpful online communities and subreddits like this one have been. I've spent countless hours reading stories and comments. While some of the comments are quite blunt about leaving a cheater, they're not wrong, and they offer a dose of heart truth that takes time to accept. You can't control someone else's behavior. And infidelity happens to good people all the time. I want to express my gratitude to all those who have shared their experiences and offered support even if they've never posted a word themselves. Recommended books. 3 books were instrumental for me during this journey. No More, Mr. Nice Guy, Leave a Cheater, Gain a Life, and The Storms Can't Hurt This Guy. These books provided valuable insight and strategies for coping with the challenges I was facing. Exercise and self-care. I was an obese, but I wasn't in my best shape before D-Day. I've since lost about 15 pounds, and after a few weeks, I was able to eat again, so it wasn't just from the stress of the situation. Feeling better about my body has also boosted my self-confidence and encouraged me to dress well because, as they say, look good. Feel good. Doing things for myself. No matter how small, it's essential to do things that make you happy. Over time, you'll find yourself taking on more significant challenges. For example, wife invited me to join. Declined as I've realized the importance of setting boundaries and focusing on my own well-being. As I reflect on this tumultuous journey, I can't help but feel a mix of emotions. The pain of betrayal still lingers, but it's slowly being replaced by a growing sense of self-worth and resilience. The road ahead may be uncertain, but I've learned that I can weather the storm. To anyone out there who's their own D-Day or is navigating the complexities of love and loss, remember this: we are not defined by the trials that befall us, but by how we rise from the ashes. My hope is that in sharing my story, I've offered a glimmer of strength, solidarity, and a knowledge that you are never alone on this journey of healing and self-discovery. Dear listener, if you have reached this far, please consider subscribing our channel, as it helps and motivates us to continue our work.